individuals. Big report came out about Jalen Hurts. Nick Foles chimed in. He knows a thing or two about Philadelphia. And, one thing he mentioned is he went through a lot of different play callers, and he saw it with Carson Wentz. And he talked about the challenge of guys coming in and out. But, I think there have been a lot of parallels with Hurts and with Russell Wilson. And obviously a couple of the play callers got head coaching jobs, Kellen Moore, Shane Steichen. Some of them got fired too. And that's sometimes on the quarterback. Like, not a lot of offensive coordinators got fired for Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. Or Aaron Rodgers. Usually when you're a great coordinator, those coordinators become Matt Ryan, Kyle Shanahan, boom, they vault you. So sometimes that's on the quarterback. But this situation, I've lived in that town. They're always a big story. I think this is one of the biggest stories going into the year. And, Sirianni, who has this great record, is in a weird way kind of tied to this. If this goes wrong, Jalen's obviously his job would be in trouble, but Sirianni could get tied to it.
Well, John, as you know, defensive head coaches, the offense with their team is often tied to the coordinator because they don't have the offensive sensibility, right?
Yeah.
But usually offensive coaches, McVay, Reed, Shanahan, whoever the coordinator is, it doesn't really matter. Andy Reid, McVay, mostly, Kevin O'Connell, he's the head coach. That's why I've always liked higher offensive coaches. There are some great guys, but like Mike McDonald in Seattle is a great defensive coach, but he loses Kubiak. Now you roll the dice and hope you can find at least a guy close to as good. And so what bothers me about Sirianni, it's always been my problem. He's an offensive head coach, yet totally dependent on his coordinator for offensive success. That's not an elite coach. He has an elite record. But Andy Reid could have Bieniemy. He could have, he could have 6 different guys in the NFL. Matt Nagy. It doesn't matter. Sirianni is too dependent as an offensive coach on his offensive coordinator. And I think Mannion's going to be good. My guess is they get it right this year. That's my guess. But listen, as you've said, Bill Parcells used to say, when he was coaching the Giants, that's not nearly as tough as coaching the Eagles. It's different.
No, I think one huge problem with Jalen Hurts is, and this happened with Russell Wilson, remember, he didn't want to move anymore. He just wanted to play from within the pocket.
Right.
Jalen's great attribute, he's a good deep ball thrower. He's a great runner. Not like Lamar Jackson fast, but he can turn into a running back. He doesn't want to run.
That's right.
And so it's like he's a dual threat quarterback that took the dual out, and I'm just going to play a pocket. Well, you're not a great pocket quarterback. Part of that article was not about, him screwing around at night, coming in tired. It was all about football, and he'll change the play because he wants to throw a go route and not against the 49ers in that playoff game. They could have run quarterback draws and powers. The Niners would have had no chance, but he refuses to run that. And I think what makes a great player, you could have told Peyton Manning or Tom Brady, we're going to call a run play every single play for the next 10 games. If it worked, they would have no problem handing it off. They'll do whatever. If you ask Andy Reid about Patrick Mahomes, he'd say he will do whatever it takes for us to win. Jalen, and this happened to Russell, I'll do whatever it takes for us to win as long as I'm doing what I want to do.
I'm sorry. I can't. This is just so ridiculous. This is just so ridiculous right now. I just can't believe we're still having this conversation like this, and it's just so wrong. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. Now Jay, we're talking about the other players doing whatever it takes to win when Jalen Hurts literally does whatever it takes to win. Where Jalen Hurts literally willingly throws the ball less. And is not just trying to change plays at the line of scrimmage and says, I want to throw go routes. He's like, no, I'm going to hand the ball off to Saquon Barkley. I'm going to run the RPO. Like I'm going to check into runs, which he did in the literal playoffs that set up Saquon Barkley up for a 60-yard touchdown. What are you talking about right now? What are you talking about? Oh, mind you, in the same game Jalen got his own number and ran for a 44-yard touchdown. What are you talking about? And against the 49ers, he tried to scramble and run the ball, but his own O-line was so bad that his lineman Johnson gave up on the play and Jalen got tackled from behind. It's just so believe me, I reviewed that play many times. It's just so ridiculous right now. And then we talk about, oh, well, have you ever seen a coordinator get hired for Tom Brady or Peyton Manning or Aaron Rodgers? Oh, three of the greatest quarterbacks, laughter, in the history of the universe. That's the reference that we're using right now. Excuse me. Did how many coordinators have been fired with Justin Herbert? With Lamar Jackson? Josh Allen? Huh? Who want to play that game? Oh, well, Sirianni, only the elite offensive coaches call plays. Really? What about Sean Payton? He's not calling plays right now. He's not calling plays. What about Harbaugh? He had to go out and get Mike McDaniel. What's going on there? What about Dan Campbell? What about that? We only want to talk about it with Nick Sirianni. What about Harbaugh? The defensive the other Harbaugh. The defensive coach, yet couldn't get the defense right. As soon as Mike McDonald went out the door, the defense went out the door. That's weird. Yet he's an elite coach and he's great. Does, clear's throat, it make any sense? None of this conversation makes any sense. You know what's so crazy to me? I know people pay attention to the Philadelphia Eagles. I know people watch these games. They have to because the Eagles are so insanely popular. So like I could almost understand not understanding everything about every single team, and sometimes you just like get things wrong, or you kind of trip over yourself. Like I get that. It haunts me personally. It's why I take all the notes, and like I get stressed out about it, and I listen to other people's takes and I try to form them with my takes because like I want to understand everything. I want if I'm making a video about the Tennessee Titans and I say, oh, I think Cam Newton could be good. Like I want it to be because that's my actual conclusion that I drew, not just because I'm like, oh, is he going to be good? Is he not? I don't know. I'll just say he's going to be good. Yeah, Cam Newton's going to be good. I can't wait for it. And then it's just like, alright, I still got the take. I still made the video. Good enough. Like no, I want it to be because I reached the conclusion. Because I see it with my eyes. I look through the analysis. I'm hearing other takes. I'm weighing the pros and cons. I'm watching the games, taking the notes. Really trying to figure it out. That matters to me so much. But there's other teams that are so popular that it's like you don't have to bring that level of energy because you have to watch the games. Everyone's talking about them. You can't avoid it. That's the Bills. That's the Ravens. That's the Chiefs. That's the Eagles. It's why those videos you could just be like, yeah, man. Like you do that on Sunday, it's like of course I'm watching the Eagles. Like how can you not? Like it matters. We're going to talk about it on Monday. It's a lot easier to skip a Tennessee Titans game, a Cleveland Browns game. Like even other competitive teams, the Houston Texans. Again, I still watch those games obviously, but it's just like it's a lot easier to skip those games. So I understand that maybe other people, but like that's not the case. Here with the Eagles. That's obviously not the case. So I just don't understand how we can get it so wrong and how we think comparing this situation to Tom Brady. Tom Brady didn't get a lot of coordinators fired. That's Tom Brady. That's literally Tom Brady. Didn't Aaron Rodgers get his head coach fired? Didn't Aaron Rodgers get like multiple coaches fired? Oh my God. What are we doing? And you know what Tom Brady did? Force his head coach out of the building, or he went up, right? He technically retired and then became the president or something. I forget how they handled that. Oh my gosh. It's unbelievable, man. It's so unbelievable. And what is Brian Johnson doing in the NFL right now? Is he leading the offense? Is he the play caller? No. He got leapfrogged for a quarterback. David, what is it? David Blau or whatever it is. I forget what it is. Someone who's never coached in the NFL. Someone who's never called someone who doesn't have like a trajectory whatsoever. He got skipped over. The Eagles' ex-offensive coordinator got skipped over for a guy who didn't really do anything in the NFL as a player and literally has done nothing as a coach. I think his only resume is like he was like an assistant quarterback coach. He became the OC for the Washington Commanders. So what does that tell you about the coordinator that the Eagles fired? And then they fired Doug Peterson. You're going to blame that on Jalen Hurts. It had nothing to do with Jalen Hurts. Like literally nothing to do with Jalen Hurts. And then he went with Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson got fired again. And now Doug Peterson is not a head coach. So, okay. So, now where are we at? You know, again, you had Shane Steichen and Kellen Moore head coaching jobs. And now we got Kevin Patullo. Wake me up. Wake me up when Kevin Patullo is leading an offense in the NFL and he's just balling. He's just crushing it. Jared Goff, so he got fired. They let him go. He's got Gibbs, Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Dan Campbell. Jared Goff also got his head coach fired, too. That's how he got Sean McVay. Baker Mayfield got his OC fired. Dak Prescott, Kellen Moore got fired. Kellen Moore got fired. Kellen Moore got fired with Justin Herbert. Jalen Hurts won a Super Bowl with him. I'm just saying. Shane Steichen coached Justin Herbert. Made it to a Super Bowl. So, again, the way in which we have these conversations continues to be insane. It's like I honestly like sometimes I'll repeat myself and keep going through it because I genuinely can't believe it. I can't believe that we're going to evoke Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, and we're not even doing it accurately, by the way. 'Cause again, Aaron Rodgers like literally getting people fired. I'm like what like head coaches fired. Alright? And so, it's just like pretty crazy to me. And even if they didn't, it's like right, you're either a Hall of Fame all-time great, all-time special talent, literally the GOAT, or you're nothing. It's like what? And then we're like, hey, we got to be honest about this. Like Jalen doesn't do what they need from him to win. And it's like the whole thing with Russ was that Russ wanted to cook. Russ wanted to be the centerpiece of the offense. That is literally the opposite of Jalen Hurts. And you're like, they want to. I can't believe he said the one thing about Peyton Manning is that if they needed to run the ball every single week, they'd run the ball. They would do it. That's literally what the Philadelphia Eagles did in 2024 and they won the Super Bowl. And you said that Jalen Hurts was a liability. And then when they couldn't run the ball, Jalen Hurts said, it's okay, guys. I'll just break the Super Bowl record. Oh, I'll just break my own Super Bowl record. It's just ridiculous. It really is. Jalen Hurts is literally willingly throwing the ball like 22, 23 times a game. He's willingly doing that. We're saying people are saying he changes the plays excessively at the line of scrimmage. He could call plays then to throw the ball more. He could be changing it up and saying, I'm throwing. Like I'm doing what I want here. And he doesn't. It's so crazy. It seriously is. It's so, snorts, ridiculous. I can't believe it. I really can't. Hey, things lick. This I'll end here. But things like this, I'm being honest with you. You guys know I always keep it 100 and I'm always as honest as I can. Like things like this actually genuinely haunt me and give me anxiety. I'm so afraid of getting a take so wrong and being so confused. And then making examples and comps that just are crazy to like I'm afraid like I don't know how that happens. Is it when you just stop paying attention as close like I don't I'm afraid of how that happens. Is it just because like as you get older, you lose your ability to process information at the highest level like it scares me. It genuinely scares me. Because it's just you can disagree with some of my takes. I always say that. Like disagree with plenty of my takes. That's fine. But like I think for the most part, the conversations at least make sense, right? You can disagree with me, but the conversations can still make a lot of sense, and even the examples and the metaphors like there's still a lot to be gained from there. The closest I can get that you could say is like, okay, you're crazy. When I say like Josh Allen is better than Patrick Mahomes, but like you can still see the argument even if you disagree with it. And the people who completely disagree with it and can't see the argument, they're the ones that are so far gone that it's like, well, you can't see reality. Again, you see. And disagree with the take, but to pretend like it's not even a conversation over these last few years is crazy to me. And that's the closest we can get to me having takes where you're just like, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. But like I'd say outside of that, everything else is like again, even if you disagree, you're like, okay, I can see where you're coming from. I can't see how we can say that Jalen Hurts isn't willing to do whatever it takes to win when he's literally done that. He's literally done that. I can't understand how we're just like, well, Jalen Hurts needs to have some more responsibility for why these coordinators are getting fired. And it's just like Troy Aikman ripped the Eagles' offensive coordinator in 23 and said he does not know how to call plays. He said that in the playoffs against the Bucs. He said, and he didn't want to be mean about it, but he was just like, calling plays is an art form and unfortunately, he doesn't have it. I mean, it's just crazy. The O-line got worse with Kevin Patullo. The run game got worse with Kevin Patullo. Jalen Hurts actually increased his passing yards. He increased his touchdown to interception ratio. Who do you think's at fault? Like seriously, if we're really being honest with ourselves, when you have entire halves where you have like no yards, no passing yards, like no conversions, do we honestly really believe it's the quarterback? Like he just sudden like we really think it's just square on the shoulders of Jalen like that's never happened throughout the course of his entire career in any of his NFL seasons, in any of his college seasons. It's never been a thing. It's never been an issue for Jalen Hurts. And then this past year, it's a genuine issue and we automatically say, well, I think it's Jalen Hurts' problem. Do we understand that really logically just simply does not make sense? Do you understand the way in which we talk about Jalen Hurts as we question whether or not he should even be simply a starting quarterback in the NFL? When we look at all these other quarterbacks who have issues, who have come up short, do we question their ability to simply just exist in the NFL? We don't. We don't. But yet with Jalen Hurts, any of his issues, any of his limitations, which every quarterback has, we use that and magnify that to question his very sense of worth to just simply stay in the NFL as a respected NFL quarterback. And it's pretty insane. And then we talk about Sean McVay, Colin's going to talk about Sean McVay and Andy Reid and Shanahan. So, we're admitting that it's a massive luxury to have those great elite coaches to have that continuity year after year after year. And you want to tell me that Jalen doesn't deserve the benefit of the doubt for not having that, for not only not having that, but having a revolving door of coordinators? It's unbelievable. It really is. I can't quite wrap my head around it. I really can't. It just doesn't quite make sense. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles? The idea that like he won't do whatever it takes to win. I can't believe that was an actual take. I can't believe that was an actual take. I can't believe it. That's like the one thing you can't take away from Jalen Hurts, and they literally took it away from Jalen Hurts. Wow. Preliminary thoughts. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get into some discussions. Let's get into some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here. I'd absolutely love to see you a part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be a part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.